All right, I'm ready.
All right.
You keep freezing up on my screen.
Hopefully it'll run smooth. Are you okay with? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes,
Do you hear me? Okay.
I do. Yes. Okay, everyone, come on in. Him Netter is having a little bit of technical difficulties with his connection. So let's give it a few moments and give everyone some time to get in. There he is. There we are. And we are live, Him Netter.
All right.
Okay. We are live. Let's give it a moment for some folks to come in. And before we start with the opening of the way, today I did set up a very small altar, which I'll do that weekly as we do our
Did,
adoration.
did you do your you set up your altar for your ancestors?
I set it up for this is just a small one for Ma'at, for our session, just for Ma'at. I think you're freezing here and there.
As we begin to go live, so we say Uncle Ma Abet, Uncle Ma.
Uncle Ma'at,
So
I bet.
I'll open up today with the lighting of the candle. Okay, for Dwa R Hrw.
I hope it gets clearer for him. As he lit the candle, I am now adding salt, Himalayan salt, to water as I pour libation. All right. My candle is lit. I've poured my libation.
The candle is lit. so 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 it must be, it might be my internet that's acting up. So if you lose me, just continue on. All right.
Okay.
So well, I wanted to read page 114 to 115. Okay.
Do we need to start with the opening of the way?
And in 114 we will begin at
Him Netter.
the one two the third paragraph in 114. Say what?
We need to do the opening of the way.
Okay, my. Say what? You keep coming in and out.
I'm going to try and text it to you.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. R Hrw is having some technical difficulties, you all. Hopefully we can get started in just a few moments. And I guess while we wait for him, Netter, I want to ask. Let me go to the actual live because I want to see if you all could put a 1 in the chat or in the comments so to be sure that you guys can hear me before we get started here. Turn the volume down so it doesn't mess up anything. But if you could put a 1 in the comment section, so I know that you all are able to hear me. And hopefully Netter will be back. We'll give him just a moment, but I know he did give me permission to proceed if he's having difficulties, because I think he's having some internet connection issues. Give it just one more moment, and we will start with the opening of the way, and hopefully Netter will be back momentarily. And just as a briefer, while folks are coming in, just to let you know what we've both done, he has lit a candle. I've set up a small altar to Ma'at and to Baba. I have here on the altar, I have my candle lit. I have my scales. I have Ma'at. I have 42 laws, and I have salt water, cold salt water that has been poured. And what needs to happen is mangoes. Mangoes are not in season that well right now, but that's okay. Baba likes mangoes, and I wanted to get some mangoes for him, but at least for now, this will suffice until I have some further items that I can offer. I'm going to go ahead, since I was given permission to start with the opening of the way, so we can get this out of the way. I don't want to keep you all here too long today. So hopefully Netter Waziri will be able to join back up with us before we get into the reading today. So let's go ahead and stand, if you would, for those of you who are here. We are going to stand in the pose of adoration. Excuse me if my back is to you, but to properly do this, I am going to face the appropriate direction. And according to my compass, my back has to be to you. So we start in the pose of adoration before I turn around and we get started. Those of you who, most of you know, but just in case, as a reminder, we put our left hand forward slightly, right hand back, your left foot forward and right foot back. And they are just to be bent slightly, not broken. We begin with our breath and we chant the word Ankh of everlasting life. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around and get started. For those of you watching, please participate and join in the opening of the way as we honor Baba Hrw, who's brought this to us in its current form. Take your breath. Anetrak and Behet. Nuk and Behet. Anetrak happy. Nuk happy. Tuau enter. Turn to the right. Netrak circuit. Nuke circuit. Netrak kepsinuf. Nuke kepsinuf. Tuau enter. Turn to your right. Netrak ast. Nuke ast. Netrak set. Nuke set. Tuau enter. To your right. Netrak neat. Nuke neat. Netrak duamutef. Nuke duamutef. Tuau enter. Turn to your right. Netrak newt. Nuke newt. Netrak geb. Nuke geb. Tuau enter. Netrak shoo. 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 Nuke shoo. Netrak tef newt. Tef newt. Tef newt. Tef newt. Nuke tef newt. Tuau enter. Netrak paut interu. Nuke paut interu. Netrak imbu interu. Nuke imbu interu. Tuau enter. Take your breath. Dwa. All right, family. So I do always have an order, but I may be a little freestyling, I guess, so to speak, today. I always like Himnetter Waziri to bring us the Sebayit. That is his charge. He loves to do so. So if he is unable to come back in, we will proceed and we'll do this a little casual and with a little freestyle today. Now, excuse me with my coughing. I still am carrying this little cold. I've got 2 grandsons that are in school, and the germs that they are bringing is not a joke. So not only do I have to stay protected spiritually, but I'm working in the herbs, drinking my elderberry syrup that I make, and drinking on the burdock root tea. Got a little bit of elderberry in that as well. Shout out to the Health and Wellness Committee. Now let's get into our usual. Opening of the way, of course, adoration to Baba Heru, Ankh Ra Samaj Se Patah, who is now among the ancestors. So weekly, I will, after the opening of the way, I will say Dua Baba Heru, Ankh Ra Samaj Se Patah. Opener of the way, Ma'ak Heru. Praise to Baba Heru, true of voice, bearer of Ma'at and custodian of the Ankh. Hatep Baba, Hatep Ma'at. Now, offering is to continue the opening of the way, as he has brought it to us in its current form. Now, for our flowers, of course, always we start with our ancestors and Mbu and Teru, all of the Neteru. Also giving flowers to our chief priest, Himnetter Intepi Dejedin Ma'at Aten Ra, also known as Himnetter Intepi Jabari. Himnetter Waziri and his queen, Sinetera, giving the flowers to his queen for allowing him to share time and space with us on these mornings of adoration. Hopefully we'll get his internet issues worked out. And of course, flowers to all of you. Before we get into today's adoration, it was going to be spirituality before religions, but I'll read where he said, starting from page 114 in the book, Spirituality Before Religions, and specifically focusing on the portion that says the noon, the eternal waters of immortality. But we will get into that after setting the feather. As you know, I like to do the portion that's called setting the feather. Good. It looks like he's coming back. So as he gets situated, we haven't gotten into the sebayit yet, so that's great. Um, and we will go ahead and set the feather while Himnetter Waziri gets it together. So of course we consider this, and I've called this now the 4 breaths of life. We are going to chime my sound bowl. As a matter of fact, I do want to say to the Ware sisters, this was something that was sent to me from them a couple of years ago. I still use it. I have another that I've actually gifted to a friend and kept the one that they've given to me. And I do cherish this one. So we're going to set the feather with the 4 breaths of life. The first breath is going to be to cleanse the mind. So take your deep breath. The second breath will be to cleanse the spirit. Take your breath. And the third will be to cleanse and lighten the heart. Take your breath. The fourth and final is to breathe in ma'at and out ifset. Take your breath. Now, as we get into today's reading, our hymnetter is returning, so I'm hoping that we will he will have some time. In fact, what I'll do is I'll go slightly out of order to give him some time to get his internet. We'll go ahead and make some of the announcements before we do our reading today to allow hymnetter.
Uncle Mott.
Oh, Uncle Ma'at, are you able to hear me?
Uncle Mott, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So I'm just going to let you know what I've done so far. I
We're
have
gonna
not.
open.
We've done the opening of the way already.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not sure if he can hear me.
All right.
Okay. So I
So
did the opening of
I
the
hear
way.
you.
Okay, great. And I did flowers and I did the setting of the
So
feather. So now we can get into the reading. The floor is
okay.
yours, Hymnetter.
All right. Uncle Mott, I bet. So as we begin the reading, we'll begin from the spirituality before religion. We'll start at page 114, check the third paragraph of 114. So we have utilized this chapter before, but because of the ritual that we're doing, we're returning. So be advised. It says so. We begin with page 114, the third paragraph. It says the theory of the noon matter was the universe. It existed before the beginning began. The theory made it possible for life to potentially pre-exist in matter. The noon, but only reveal it, but only reveal itself as a creative force through intelligence, a tomb, a complex and superior form taken by the noon, and the structural transmutation. Implied another important theory. Ma'at is the primordial path of truth, justice, harmony, balance, reciprocity. What goes around comes around. Proper behavior and order and arrangement. Ma'at thinks, speaks, acts justice. Ma'at acts in accordance with nature that gives order and arrangement to all of the Creator's creation. This original Trinity initiated the process of becoming from non-beginning to being, from before to after, from the unconscious to the awakening of thought, reason, and language. Through the word, a tomb designated, classified, ordered, commanded, and brought everything and all into existence by giving each a name. The entire cosmic universe is made up of either matter or energy. Energy makes matter move. Energy takes matter through the process of becoming, called Kepler, represented by the Ma'at
We'll give him some time.
Oh, come on. I was like, energy. Can you hear me? I bet. So energy makes matter move. Energy makes matter through the process of becoming, called Kepler, represented by a dung beetle. The Shabaka text consists of four parts: one historical statement and three spiritual scientific philosophy. History, geography of the text. It explains how the Neset Bidi Pharaoh Shabaka came to rewrite in the Memphite theology and how he directed his scientists to carve it on a stone. Second philosophy, number one, the primate of the essence, tells the story of the original Trinity who existed before the beginning began and how the cosmos was created and continued to become. Philosophy number two, three, essence of the pre-existing order and arrangement, explains the eight uncreated characteristics that define the attributes of the cosmic universe. Number four, philosophy number three, essence of order and arrangement, explores the development of the billions of molecules that would lead to the creation of superclusters, clusters, galaxies, stars, and planets, etc., and all the life that that evolved over billions of years, leading up to the birth of plants, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. Philosophy number one, the primate of the essence, the number one trinity, the noon, the eternal waters of immortality. In the very beginning, before all the fundamental elements, before
Give him a moment. He's getting through that. He's getting through those readings, so he'll be right back.
That says it. The noon, the eternal waters of immortality. In the very beginning, before all the fundamental elements, before creative intelligence, there was only the noon, an eternal presence of water, of matter, water, hydrogen. The noon was immeasurable matter. Noon, noon was one place where the many would emerge as the elements that would form the cosmic universe. The immortality of knowable consciousness. The cosmic universe was created by what comes out of the uncreated creation. The noon has no beginning and it has no end. The noon created space, geography, and the time history.
He will chime back in just a moment.
It said We said the noon, going back to say the noon has no beginning and it has no end. The noon created space, geography, and time history without directly participating in any of the creative events. The noon was the original seed of thought and command. The noon was the seed of our concept of what was and is and will be forever. The pharaonic Kemites thought nature to be a cosmic order, constantly renewing and resurrecting itself, as does the sun by rising and setting each day. So as I conclude, do I never? Ashe.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
And that
So getting into those four philosophies, or the three philosophies. Philosophy one, primate of the essence, tells the story of the original Trinity, who existed before the beginning began, and how the cosmos was created and continued to become. So that's a recap of philosophy number one. Philosophy number two, the essence of pre existing order and arrangement, explains the 8 uncreated characteristics that define the attributes of the cosmic universe. Philosophy number three, essence of order and arrangement, explores the development of the billions of molecules that would lead to the creation of superclusters, clusters, galaxies, stars, and planets, etc., and all the life that evolved over billions of years, leading up to the birth of plants, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. So those are a recap of the three philosophies out of that. Interesting enough, the key plot points that I kind of taken out of here is, in the beginning, what was said, what goes around comes around. So it's like in a noon where there was no order, and order basically began with creation itself. What we put out comes back. Everybody knows, full circle, what goes around comes around, karma, whatever you may want to call it. But because out of the noon creation, let me find that portion, because what I'm trying to say is, when creation created itself out of the noon, and as creation began, and like everything else became into being, the planets, the plants, the animals, reptiles, and mammals, all those things started as the essence of order and arrangement, started to develop over the billions of years, billions of molecules. Well, it is divine and natural order, which is why we see so much chaos in the world, within ourselves, because even our bodies, it's always trying to, in a sense, restore ma'at on its own, get itself into its natural state. But we've come not only out of the state of natural order, but from chaos, which means chaos still lies dormant, and it's at any time, looking to rear its head, I should say. So within that, keeping the consciousness of these philosophies, and not only that, understanding the order, the natural order of things, as long as we continue to interrupt divine order and natural order, it's always going to be trying to repair itself. So it will always be like two magnets that can't push together. They're always, the forces are fighting against each other, because we are standing in the way of its natural order. Even now, billions of years later, you can look and see that the plants, the animals, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, even us, we are all almost at odds. Yet, life is still trying to repair itself to its not natural state. So how do we stand out of the way as people and allow that to happen? How do we get out of the way of what we think? what we think we know, our emotions, our feelings, and allow this beautiful thing we call life to do itself. How do we, what are your thoughts on that, Himnetter? As we are seeing these billions of years later that, we are here, and just like in the Kepler process, the resurrection, how do we get out of our own way in order to allow divine
So,
order to take place?
so it's important the view, the understanding of what takes place in the noon, or the creativity of this, and we go forth to understand this is the resurrection, of the fact that people come and go in our lives, but the fact is that this is part of the creativity, and we understand that the Kepler process and the whole process takes place as the be in the beginning. There was no beginning, but the creativity continue on, which is life, is the so in the life of the ba and the ka, the from the body to the spirit get together, is understanding what is happening, and we are being, are on the stage to observe what is happening in this creativity. Before there was the existence, that the existence exists. This is the thing, we are able to sit and watch what happens, and sometimes it may happen to us, and at the same time it's happening to us, it's happening to all the people around us. So it's an understanding, to understand what happens in this temple, in this bar, that we understand what we should do, and so we should understand about the spirit. So we're dealing with the spirituality. So it's important to understand how to get connected to the new, because we're going back to when there was nothing.
Mhm,
It's so
mhm.
important to understand that. It takes time to realize that, to come back to understand what is existing.
I totally agree. And one thing about our
So
now
so like
ancestor,
like
Bubba,
like like say that again.
oh, no, 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 I'm listening to you. I'll chime in after, please.
No, you said, oh, I missed that. You said something about the
I was just saying that's one thing.
ancestor Baba.
Yeah, now one thing that is evident in the walk that we've witnessed, as Himneta Waziri said, observation, where something happening to somebody else, but at the same time happening to us or all around in human nature. One thing that was evident about Baba is you could see the understanding, because he wasn't in a hurry. He just lived as such. Like, after all the work that he did, he still found time to return to that Kepler state, that natural state of doing nothing and allowing creation to do its own thing. After he had done his work in his life, like the dung beetle, like Kepler, after he had rolled so much, he was able to finally rest and see the fruits of all of that labor. And not just when he made his transition, but in his lifetime, to watch what was flourished out of all the rolling that he did. He was able to sit back and see the fruits of all of the rolling. And now that, like what you just said, what goes around comes around. Now that we are here, it is up to us to continue rolling so that we too can observe the existence itself. What can you suggest to the folks to allow them to become more of observers of this experience versus in a in a trance of doing so much. Could you hear that, him netter? I'm not sure if he's here and able to hear me.
You, yeah, I'm hearing, but you're coming in and out. So I'm gonna submit to be be an observer, so you can take over the show.
Well, that wasn't the
So
intention.
maybe you may physically see me, but but the point is you may not hear me.
It's
So
all right.
so I apologize of the fact that I have no control over this internet. So it might be one of those days that we continue on. So as we go on a bit, you can you can close out and we can. And is there anything we have from the audience?
Let me take a look and see. Let me see. No comments, but I do want to say Anke to William Humphrey. Thank you for that. So yes, on today's reading, just so that you all are aware, again, it is spirituality before religions again, and it was chapter 114, focusing on the Trinity and the origins of noon. So with that, I'm not going to close out just yet. We do have a couple of announcements that I would like to go over, and hopefully we're going to get those. We'll get this those internet issues worked out, because I know the people definitely want to hear from one Hemnet or Wasiri. But we didn't have any prayer requests this week. I do want to make a couple of announcements. We have a full member who is Dior Nelson. I'm sure many of you have seen her post on our page, but I do want to make an announcement that she does have a Patreon page, which is free for right now. Okay, just keeping in mind that it's free for right now. She has a sacred cookbook, and it's called Sacred Nourishment. I actually went on and have been taking a look at that. So shout out to the Health and Wellness Club, Committee for putting that information up and for keeping us up on our health and wellness and different recipes that will nourish our bodies. I do want to say dua to her for doing that. I also want to welcome, if she is here, our another one of our full members, Sinette Ashley Amora. She has returned for a while to social media, so I just wanted to say to her, dua for coming back, and I'm glad that you are around so that we can reach out to you, even if it is virtually. She travels abroad a lot, so I just wanted to mention her because I saw she had returned to Facebook yesterday, so that's good. More importantly, those are important just as well, but I also wanted to take one moment to give homage, to give flowers to one of the main political activists out there. Many of you know that we had another person transition into the ancestral realm, and that was the godmother of Tupac, Asada Shakur. Oh, this woman was an activist. She did so many things. I pulled up a bunch of quotes, but I just wanted to take a few moments of space to give to her as we welcome her among the ancestors. Her work won't be in vain. She's sparked a lot for all of us. So let's chime the bell and take a moment for our beloved sister, Asada Shakur. Dua, dua, dua for your life, dua for your work, and the torch that will continue to be taken on. All right. Now, I do want to close out before we do our closing prayer. The usual balancing of the scales, the balancing of the scales. Of course, as you know, in one side of the scale, I keep the feather. Don't talk about my feather. It might be dusty, but it still does the job. And my little, from a bracelet that I used to have a emblem on, and it says love, and it's a heart. So this is our session of Saruja Ma'at, or balancing the scale. So I want us to take a moment. And today's focus principle or focus virtue, balance. Do not lean toward one side or the other, but take the middle path, and your course will be straight. Now, that quote is from the instructions of Amenhotep, chapter 10, circa 1200 BCE. The translation is in the Miriam Lexicon of Ancient Egyptian Literature, volumes 1 and 2, the New Kingdom University of California Press, published in 1976. Again, it says, do not lean toward one side or the other, but take the middle path, and your course will be straight. So just remembering, as each and every one of us are on our own individual journeys, we walk together, but we walk our individual path, because each of our experience is solely for ourselves. So continue on your path. If the path seems troublesome, move the bushes, chop them down, and keep it moving. But continue on your path, and make sure that the experience that you're experiencing is yours. Each and every one of us, as we walk together, I do want to say that we are a unit. We are a unit. We are a community. We are one, but we are collectively one. So each of us have our own experiences. We all have our highs and lows, our ups and our downs. And I just, my prayer is that we all, for each other, meet in the middle of ourselves, of the higher and the lower. We have that smai tai we within ourselves, so that it gives us the strength and ambition to continue to do our walk individually as a collective. One body, but many attributes, just like the Netaru. And you can see ourselves as many attributes of the one divine, and that is what we are. So with that being said, I'm going to close out today with, I like to read it because when I recite it, it doesn't come out as proper as it's supposed to. So we will do the Amasu, but I'd rather, just doesn't come out the way that it should sound. But and I know the page is right here in the beginning. However, if it's gonna be too much time, I'm just gonna recite it. I've got that. Here we go. I've got that slight bit of country accent and a slight bit of of I don't know, city accent. People have trouble finding out where I'm from, but that's okay. As long as the point is made and it is understood what the intentions were and what's been said. So we're going to give some space and close out with the Amasu prayer. So I'm going to say, Amasu impa neter, sauk, su imit ra impa neter, auta maketi pa heru ra. Translated to, give yourself to the one most high. Keep yourself daily for the divine, and do it tomorrow just as you've done it today. Twaru and Ter. Thank you all for always being here and supporting. And we will look forward to seeing you all next week for our next session of adoration. Always keep in mind also, the door is always, always, always open for anyone who'd like to come in and either read or say a prayer or, give adoration. Keeping in mind that this space is for adoration only. So we are going to stick solely to giving adoration and to charging our spirits for the week. So with that being said, the Neter in me sees the Neter in all of you. It feels the Neter in all of you. And I hope that soon in the wake of our ancestor making his transition, that we will all be able to be together physically sooner rather than later, so that we can celebrate and love on each other in person. Shema Ma'at to all of you all. We will see you all next week. With love and myrrh. Shinka Himneta Waziri.